Welcome. Today I would like to share with you my two plants that belong to the same species, my two Orbea variegata plants. They are also called sometimes Stapelia variegata, this is their old name, and I think this plant is known more widely as Stapelia variegata. But when I got it as Orbea variegata. I've had it for many years, and when I got it, the advice was to divide it, to split it, and keep it in at least two separate pots, because this plant is very moody and this plant has a lifespan. So it is important to keep more than one specimen, to keep it in more than one pot, 2 or 3. When one of the plants is not healthy, when one of the plants decides not to cooperate anymore, there will always be the other one. And if you can see this plant here, the one on the left, is not very healthy at the bottom, and maybe soon it will be time to renew it, which means to take a cutting from the stems, one of the stems, and root it and plant it again. And that's what I am doing. I am renewing these plants constantly, and this way I keep them alive. In nature they spread. In nature they don't just hang down, they spread on the ground, and that way the new stems that form can produce roots. The reason I am showing you both plants at the same time is that something exciting has happened. This plant, the plant on the left, produced a seed pod. This is a seed pod, and look how huge it is. I showed it to you quite recently because I thought it was as big as it will ever be, and now it grew and it's at least twice as big as it used to be when I was showing it to you. Look at it, look how big it is. You see, it starts here. That's where it grows, where it grows from the stem. It starts here, and then here is the seed pod itself, and it goes all the way up to here. It is much larger than the stems, a little bit thicker than the stems. Last time when I showed it to you, it was about 3 weeks ago or so. It was about the size of one of the stems, and here is a line along which the seed pod will split, and very hairy seeds will fall out of it. Hairy because they are designed to be spread by the wind, and that way travel far away from the plant and take roots far away from the plant. But it will create a challenge for me as well, because in order to collect the seeds and not have them just spread out all over the room, I will have to put the seed pod in a plastic bag so the seeds fall in the bag, and that way I will be able to collect them. And the other plant, the plant on the right, has a flower. And this is the flower that, well, not the flower, not exactly this flower, but this kind of flower, exactly the same type of a flower, produced this seed pod. It is quite exciting to have a seed pod because to have a flower, it's not a big deal. This plant flowers quite easily. In the summertime, during the growth season, one flower appears after another, and it's a little bit of a nuisance as well because the flowers smell quite nastily, and the flower is and the scent is quite strong. These flowers are pollinated by flies, and they smell as something that would attract flies. So is it rotten egg? Is it rotting meat? Is it poop? Something, or maybe a mixture of all those pleasant smells. The smell can be quite strong, but not strong enough to make me remove the buds when they appear. I said that the plant is pollinated by flies, and the pollination is a very complex and a very difficult task that only flies can do. Somehow people cannot do it as well as the flies. The pollen is not actually single grains of pollen that the fly is transporting from flower to flower or from one spot of the flower to the other. The pollen is clustered into a structure called a pollinium, and these pollinia are quite heavy and quite large, and they have to put precisely at the right place of the flower in order to pollinate it. And a person with a brush, a plant grower, a plant owner, equipped with a brush cannot do it as well as a fly, and that's why there are so few seeds available of this plant, because it's very difficult to obtain them, and it's quite rare to have a seed pod on this plant. So it happened, and I'm extra excited. It happened already once, many years ago, right after, just after I got this plant. But I didn't know much about the process of pollinating these flowers, and I didn't really think twice about it. I didn't really think it was something worth celebrating and something worth noticing more than noticing the appearance of the flower itself. I made more videos about these plants. I made at least 2 or 3 videos about the flowers, and one video 3 weeks ago about the seed pod. I will put links to those videos in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for visiting. I hope you like my plants, and I hope you appreciate how beautiful they are. Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and to me these plants are just amazingly beautiful. Have an amazing day.